good golly. This video is gonna be so long, oh my goodness, but I just have so much to say. I blocked that time period out of my memory, which I highly, highly recommend. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Breanna and I am a third grade teacher in North Carolina. If you are new here, of course, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, and stay tuned for what we have in store today. So my friend Sheridan from Excellently Elementary, who I actually went to the Impact Driven Teaching Conference with, and I met her there, and she is so well spoken, oh my goodness. So if you haven't been to her channel, it will be linked down below along with all of the other girls who are doing this collab. She thought it would be a great idea for us to do this grad school chat, answer questions. My allergies are coming up, so I apologize for my voice, but we are going to make it through. Now, Sheridan did come up with a few questions for this video, but I also went ahead and pulled you guys on my Instagram. So if you're not following me there, go ahead and click the link below as well, because I interact with you guys a lot on there and I got some cool information from you. So I wanted to start with that because I polled you guys about if you had already been to grad school, if you're thinking about it, and like different time periods and things. So I wanted to share that information with you first. Now, like I said, I'm a third-year teacher. So I graduated from my undergrad in 2016 and I did the 5th-year program. So I got my master's in 2017, which I highly recommend. The first question I polled you all about was whether you are in grad school or were in grad school, and the people following me who this pertained to, 35% are in grad school currently and 65% already had gone to grad school, which is a big number, so that's fantastic. Then I asked if you're not in grad school, hadn't gone, are you thinking about it or is it not for you? 60% of you said you were thinking about it and 40% said nope. Now, that's pretty interesting because I know that a lot of states now require you to actually get your master's. So I'm going to quickly go through Sheridan's questions first because that will give you some background information, and stick around for after that because then I'll answer your guys' questions. I thought some of the ones you asked were amazing, so definitely stick around for those. I went to High Point University for both my undergrad and grad school, and at that time when I was going, the program was pretty new. So you can choose between literacy or STEM. It's a master's in elementary education with a focus in literacy, which is furthering your understanding of the curriculum and things, or STEM, which is the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics side of things. And since then, they have added administration to the program, so you can get your 5th year in that. So if you're thinking about one day becoming some type of admin in the future, you can swing that onto your degree right away. Now, I personally chose STEM, and I feel like that was a really easy decision for me. Staying at the same school that I was at, you're going to see like a lot of these questions are very particular to that because that has a lot to play with it. I just clicked with those professors. I understood how they were thinking about education and I really enjoyed that. So I wanted to further my education based on their knowledge. And I am a huge advocate of hands-on learning, and that's pretty much the focus of STEM, with also incorporating all the 21st century technology craziness in school. So like, I wanted to be educated on that. Like I said, if you have not started college yet, or if you have, this is a really big thing to think about, especially if the state you're going to be teaching in requires you to get a master's, because I feel like the way I did it was so much more efficient and much cheaper than it would be if I went anywhere else, and I'll explain why. So typically your undergrad takes 4 years if you stay at the same school the whole time and pass all your classes. For me and my school, you have to apply for the 5th year program your junior year, because in your senior year, you start taking grad classes, and that's how you can get done with it so much faster. So some of the classes I was taking my senior year replaced undergrad classes. Now I was still receiving like that educational piece, it was just at another level. I started a few classes my senior year. I have my transcript here because I don't remember. It's been so long. Well, it hasn't been that long. It's been like 2 years, but it's been long to me. I blocked that time period out of my memory. So I started my senior year. Then the other thing about the 5th year program at High Point University, I'm sure this happens at other schools too, you have summer classes. I think I had 2 courses in July, and then no, 2 courses in June, 2 courses in July, or 3 courses in June, 1 course in July, something like that. And that was probably the most hectic part, because literally I was at school from like 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day, like a normal high schooler again, because you have only a month to take a course. So I was doing it every day. So that me and my friends could agree that that was the most crazy part, but it was also amazing because we were all together. We all had known each other. We had this big support system. A lot of us were starting our 1st year of teaching on top of grad school, which I will also talk about. And it just worked out really well. And then we had 1 year after that. So while I was doing my 1st year of teaching, I was completing my final year and actually real 1st year of grad school. It was face-to-face. Okay, so since I was in the 5th year program, I didn't have a choice. I had to follow the program to be able to finish it in that 5th year. So looking at my transcript here, I'm pretty sure I took 3 classes my senior year. My summer classes, the first session I took 2 classes. It was a math class and it was an integration class, and both of those were amazing classes. Like, I don't feel without those I would have been as prepared for the classroom. The July class was actually an online class, developing leaders in 21st century schools. That one wasn't very helpful. It just felt like a filler class. So then the fall, I took 3 classes. I took a methods on educational research, diversity in education, and systems and interdependence in science. And then spring, I took my STEM class and I did my product of learning, which was my huge, and Maylene from Miss Calls Campers calls her something different in Tennessee, but I think it means the same thing. No, it doesn't, because product of learning is for grad school, but it was basically all about how we have to do this research project and put all that together. It's like a dissertation, maybe? That might not be the word, but my product of learning was showcasing it, and I had to do this big presentation. It was a huge poster of like months of research. I think I took 2 or 3 classes my senior year. I can't really figure it out. And then I took, over the summer, it was 2 classes in June and a practicum. So we were doing a STEM summer camp as well, and that counted towards our degree. And then July it was the 1, and then fall it was 3, and then spring it was 2. I hope that helps. So this is interesting because I didn't follow this plan. At actually the accepted students dinner for High Point University is when I found out, or no, I might have known this already, that they had a 5th year program, and they had just started it the year prior to me. Maybe they were thinking about starting it because I would have still been a freshman. So at the accepted students dinner, someone at the who does some fancy things at the school was actually talking to me like, oh, we're starting this 5th year program. And I'm like, yes, I'm so excited about it. From the beginning, I was like, I'm gonna do the 5th year program because you get a better job in New Jersey if you have your master's. And I'm from New Jersey. I was originally planning on going home, okay? Well, as I'm going through college, end of freshman year, sophomore year, I'm struggling to pay. I'm not gonna lie, I went to school, and actually I've been very open about this. I went to school completely on financial aid and Sallie Mae private loans, which are awful. Never sign up for Sallie Mae because they're forcing me to pay $900, over $900 a month right now, and they won't give me a different payment plan. On my lovely teaching salary, so yes. But I was like struggling to pay for school and figure it all out. And so I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to do this 5th year program. Well, junior year rolls around, I'm like, it's okay. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sign up. I'm gonna do my senior year. And then like I could have dropped out of the program, but I would have still had my undergrad. So that was my plan all along. And then I ended up getting complete financial aid for grad school, and I didn't have to get another Sallie Mae loan. So that worked out really nice because yeah, I still have government loans, but some of them were grants that I don't have to pay back, and government loans to me I feel like are easier to handle than private loans. So all along I had the idea of getting my master's and staying at the same school with the same professors for 1 more year seemed like the biggest win of them all. And I preached that so much to my friends. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be our 1st year teaching. We're gonna be swamped. We're gonna be doing grad school, but we know these professors. We're comfortable with them. They understand. They'll help us through. The whole time, it just felt right. So this question I'm actually going to be like talking about a lot, and this video is gonna be so long, oh my goodness, but I just have so much to say. I feel like I barely thought about teaching outside of the classroom my 1st year of teaching. When I left school, it was to go to college, take my class, go home, do my work for my class, and then go back to school and do it all over again. So I'm not gonna lie, I was swamped. I don't remember what that felt like because like I come home now and I feel swamped, but like I don't have grad school. I really don't know how I did it. However, my 1st year of teaching, I resented it so much, but now I look back on it and I'm like, wow, I was so lucky. The position I got was a 4th grade science and social studies teacher. That's not tested. I don't have to worry about small groups. I don't have to worry about retesting kids. I basically didn't have a lot to worry about. It was the fun class. We did so many hands-on activities, so many experiments. I actually like my 2nd year of teaching, I look back on my 1st year of teaching lessons and they were amazing. They were so engaging. So I came up with these great lessons and I searched for these great lessons and I did all these fun things in the classroom. However, I like showed up at school and winged it and it just happened to go all right. But that really played a huge role in why I was able to function and sort of balance both. But I will say also, I gained 50 pounds. So that happened. And I'm still working on removing that. Well, like I said, I'm away from my family because they're in New Jersey, I'm in North Carolina. My coworkers were amazing. I had the best mentor in North Carolina. We are BTs, beginning teachers, for our first 3 years. So my mentor, who was also a 4th grade teacher on my team, we had to have weekly meetings and she like worked so well with my schedule. She was always there for whatever I needed. The rest of my teammates were so awesome too. Like I said, my professors were incredible, and all of my friends who I went to school with, like, we were just each other's biggest supporters, which is why I loved that we went to undergrad and grad together, because we formed this bond and we still have it to this day. So that's pretty awesome. And obviously my boyfriend and his family, oh my goodness, amazing. That was pretty early on in our relationship. Like, we talk about it all the time now. I'm like, I can't believe you put up with me. And like, how did we even survive? Like, how did we even talk to each other? We don't even remember that time, but I'm glad it went by really fast. Okay, here's the big one, because it's the only way I got through. First of all, if you're thinking about it and you have the option to do 5th year and you love your school, love your professors, love the people you're with, do it. I mean, I think the thing that Michele from Pocketful of Primary is doing right now, that online like choose your own schedule thing, is pretty neat. I probably would never get stuff done though, because making my own deadlines, I would keep pushing it off. But if you have the opportunity to take a position where either you're departmentalized and only teaching one subject, or like maybe you're just substituting that year, like it's so good to be in the classroom. So like I don't want to steer you away from that, but like me just having to teach science and social studies, the same lesson to 3 classes all day, like that's literally all I had to plan. And you know there's so many lessons out there. So I got so many like ideas, pre-prep lesson plans just from online. So if you have the opportunity to take the job that may not be your dream job at first, because I will tell you, I never wanted to be departmentalized. I did originally always want to be a 4th grade teacher. However, I'm so happy in 3rd. I'm so happy teaching all subjects, but you will get there. Like if it's just so you can get through grad school, do it. I promise you, you won't regret it. And you may find something else that you love too on top of that. Like departmentalization, like some people love that. I hated it. So those are all of Sheridan's questions. Now you guys asked some really awesome questions. I am going to post them on here. How many hours did you put into just grad school a week? Did you still have a life? I want to say that year, definitely that summer, I didn't really, my life was grad school, but my school's so small and it was only like 8 of us that we became a little family and we enjoyed our time together. So it was like being with my friends every day, and they are my friends. We also went to space camp together. That was part of our practicum. And that was the most amazing experience of my entire life. But I mean, I had my boyfriend. All of my other friends outside of college are in New Jersey. So when I went home for like a week to visit my family, I saw them and I saw my family then. But really, like, my world revolved around grad school. I'm gonna be honest. But it was just a year and I don't even remember it now. Like, it's gone. It was 2 years ago and I don't remember what it was like. Did your professors judge that it was during your first year teaching? See, this is part of the reason I stayed at High Point University and did the 5th year, because they understood and they actually thought that you were amazing if you were balancing both. Like, it showed that you were responsible, you were ready to start your career, you were serious about this. So no, they didn't judge me at all. I think it actually helped. Was your program for people who were already teachers or newcomers? Okay, so it was weird how it happened, because the people who, you know how there's people who get like their undergrad in something and then they get their master's in education and they can become a teacher. So there were a few of those people in some of my classes, like mixed in, but they were not getting their degree in STEM. But it was mostly just my group of 8, and obviously majority of us, I want to say all of us, were newcomers. No one had taught before that year. People that did it their first year don't do good, but I want to get my master's soon. I'm not sure if you meant don't do good in your first year of teaching or don't do good with your master's, but like, I have my transcript right here. My GPA was a 3.58. I got all A's and B's, so I did fine in school. Like I said though, my mind was not on teaching. However, when I was at school, like, it was. I don't know, it worked out for me. I guess if you're in that situation, like, take it. I was very fortunate. And then obviously, like, my first year of teaching, like, in the classroom, I loved the lessons I was doing. My behavior management was horrible, but I mean, I feel like that comes with any first year teacher. You're going to need to work on something. So I've grown since then, and I'm at year 3 now. and I feel good. What was the main difference between undergrad and graduate school? For me, I feel like it was a lot more work. I mean, undergrad was a lot of work with our evidences we had to do. We had to do those 5E lesson plans that were like a plan that would last a whole week, but it was for a day. And we had to make units and things in undergrad. But graduate school was more like research and understanding philosophers and building products, and it was more of the like, I don't know, like I want to say like research philosophy kind of side on top of like projects. In undergrad, I feel like it's more creative, and like this is my sub binder and this is my creative writing notebook. And in grad school, it was like you need to put in that effort, you need to be able to prove it, you need to find your resource, things like that. Did you feel you were prepared for grad school? I mean, I don't think anyone is ever prepared enough for anything. Like, I watch a lot of family vloggers, and I feel like they all say that about like becoming a parent. You're never actually prepared. So I'm gonna say you're never actually prepared for grad school. I mean, I will say, since I had just come out of undergrad, it's like I never stopped. So I went high school, undergrad, grad. So it just kind of flowed. If I went back to grad school now, I would probably lose my mind, because I'm out of that rhythm of submitting assignments and doing projects, and I don't think I would be able to do it. So the earlier you do it in your career, the better. How do you see yourself utilizing your grad degree in the classroom? Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, since it was in STEM, I am the robotics coach. I learned all about the things I'm using and teaching the kids after school for that club or team, which is fantastic. And I'm so excited about that. Our competition is next Saturday, actually. And then in the classroom itself, it's just like I feel like I'm such a much better math teacher than a reading teacher. Like, I understand math to the core. Like, I understand the why, and I push the why so much, and everything is so hands-on, and I have so many manipulatives. So I'm using that every day, and the idea of project-based learning and different things like that, which is why I'm so happy I went with STEM. I mean, literacy, obviously, you would be using that some way too, and now I feel like if I were to go back, like, I want classes on reading, because I feel like that's what I'm struggling with. But I mean, you can always learn more. So I feel like I definitely utilize my degree. How did you go about creating a portfolio? I didn't have to create a portfolio. We had this thing online where we had to submit all of our evidences and all of our like product of learning and all of our projects and everything, but that was like through my school. I never actually had to create something. I just had to submit my projects onto there, and then it like organized all of them there. So I don't know. How did you decide what you even wanted to do for grad school? So like I said, depending on the school you choose to go to, every school offers a different curriculum, a different path, whether you're interested in becoming a principal one day, or you just want to really understand curriculum, or I don't know, can you get your master's in SPED in some way? I just chose what interested me the most. How do you schedule your lifetime? Like I said, I don't really think I did, but I made it through. My friends were at school, my boyfriend was at home, my family was far away anyway. What I do a lot actually is I call people in the car. So whenever I'm driving from place to place, like that's always when I talk to my grandma, and always when I talk to my mom. So if you haven't done that, I highly recommend it, as long as you have a hands-free method of talking on the phone. Is grad school and teaching hard to function doing both? Well, like I said, I gained 50 pounds. I probably had terrible greasy hair with so much dry shampoo, and I didn't wear makeup for half the year. I wore baggy, comfortable clothing. So yes, I used to vlog like the end of my first year of teaching, but I took those videos down because they're repulsive to look at. It's hard. You're balancing two things that are like should typically be done both on their own. Teaching in itself is insane. Like I couldn't imagine if I had to submit my lesson plans a week early. Like I can promise you, I rarely wrote lesson plans that first year of teaching. But like I said, I was just teaching science and social studies. I got my plans from online blogs and things. Like I found ideas through that, or I meshed ideas together, or I did it on the spot, or it was all in my head and I just knew what I was doing, so I just went with it. If I had to submit lesson plans too on top of that, good golly. But like also, I didn't teach reading, I didn't teach math, I didn't do small group, like, so I think it would be extremely hard to function. I could barely breathe now. Is it worth it salary wise? Did you see much of an increase in your pay after your grad degree? Well, in North Carolina, they don't pay us for our masters. So, no, it was not worth it. But like I said, in case I move anywhere else, I have my master's, so I will have that salary increase, and I think it is worth it everywhere else. We are fighting to get that removed or put back on. I think it's coming, and that's the reason I went through with it anyway, because it'll change. Things change all the time. So now I have my master's, and when it's time for me to get that pay increase, I'll be bumped up super fast because it's all set, ready to go. So I would say it's worth it in other states. Was it at your own pace, or you had to follow along taking a certain AMP? Like I said, I had to follow along the course. I couldn't like shift things around or else I wouldn't have been done in that 5 years. So I'm glad that the program was laid out for me. That was very convenient, and it was easy because I didn't have classes to pick from. It's like, here, you have to take this at this time, yada yada. And I got through it, and I'm done, and I'm so happy that I did it, and I would do it again in a second. So those are my thoughts. I hope it was really informative. If you have any other questions, leave them down below and I will be happy to respond. You can also message me on Instagram and I will always respond there. Thank you, Sheridan, for putting this together. Don't forget, all the other girls' videos and guys, if there are any, will be linked in the playlist down below. And I will see you guys next time. A lot of you were super excited about this video, so I hope it gave you the information you needed. I hope it was an interesting perspective, because I feel like I haven't heard a lot of people who have went this route. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.